Hello and welcome to VitoshAcademy. The idea for today will be to show some Python code that actually takes a look at a folder in Python wherever the code is and simply provides in Excel a list of all the files within different folders within the root folder. And furthermore, the next idea would be to take a look at the code as it is ready and to see how it works. So let's start. So what is this code doing? Pretty much it lists all files in a folder as already shown, and then it opens the Excel file. Pretty much it is as simple as that. And of course we don't have something defined, so we have to run everything once more. Yeah, this is named list of files in all folders not defined, means that we haven't started the thing. Okay, so this is how it works. And additionally, based on here whether we have the path, the full name, and including the roots, we would be deciding whether to include the path, whether to use the full name, or to include the root directory. So my idea here is actually to start one by one and to run this one, so I have a completely simple Jupyter notebook, and standing one by one I am adding two imports, pressing Shift and Enter, so it is like this, automatically activated. And now instead of working with the function that I have already here, I'll try to rewrite it a bit just to see how it works. Okay, so path would be, I'm just thinking how to write it. Should I write it like this or to write it like normally? I'll write it normally. I mean, here it is a parameter, but I will not use it as a function. I'll just try to do it like this. So yeah, just defining the variables within the functions that are actually called parameters, but this is for later. And now let's start with the first part of the function, get all folder names from a path. Okay, so the code that is used in the function is this one, folder path, always path join path folder, for folder in OS list directory if OS path is directory. Yeah, makes sense. Let's see every part. What does it? Pretty much it does. Let's see what this is doing. Pretty much nothing, because we don't have a folder, but we can replace it and just play something with testing here. You see, that's exactly the thing. It just united the word path with testing here, and it put like two of these. That's pretty good. For folder in OS list dir path. Let's continue and say, okay, what is list dir path? Wow, it just listed all the things in my folder. Pretty much all of these. Some of them are Excel files, some of them are Jupyter notebook, and others are anything. Even folders, I think. Yes, this one should be a folder. Pandas cheat sheet. That's another video that I have already done. Okay, if OS path dir is dir, OS path is dir. Pretty much this OS path is dir returns whether something is a directory or not, and it is a condition towards this one here. So it would list all the folders in this path if they actually a folder. And let's take a look at our thing. So folder path, it just returned it nicely. So these are my folders. As you see, .ipymb is also a folder. Yeah, makes sense. So let's keep this one here and continue with taking a look at the code. The next one is folder names. Tada! And clicking on Ages to get a new row here. So the folder names are folder for folder in this one in the path, if it is a folder name. Yeah, makes sense. What I'm expecting is pretty much the same thing as here, but just with names and not with paths. Okay, exactly this is what happened. You see, we don't have the dot something. We simply have the name, and the name is .yp checkbox. This is how it is. With other words, take a look here. This is this folder. It starts with a dot. This is how the checkpoints are. Yes. So, and this thing here makes our variables list. Let's see what will happen if we remove it and it's not a list anymore. Yeah, invalid syntax. What about if we make it a dictionary? Well, something. It returned a dictionary, but this is not what we want. We wanted a list. Pretty much. The only difference between this code is here we're returning the folders, and here we are using OS path join. Let's see what OS path is. Yeah, pretty much just a module. We have the path of the dot with the folder. Yeah, that's it. So that's what our path is, actually the root. So we're just joining. With other words, if we do it like this, first and second, we should receive something like this, first and second. And of course we get the OS path with some of these beauties. If it is without the OS path, just join. It works a bit. Join is undefined. With other words, join is a bit different. For example, it can be like first dot join, and let's see whether it would work. Okay, one argument, and I'm just doing it this way. Let's see what will happen. Yeah, first and second. Yeah, the end came to the first part, but it doesn't matter. I mean, working with lists here is actually something that works quite okay. Going further, we have included one rule that checks whether we have a root and whether it's true. So it is like this: if the rule for including a root is true or false, we put the root here. Pretty much quite normal. And for the time being, we're having the folder path and the folder names declared as various lists. This is the list folder names, this is the list folder path. Yeah. And of course, twin is a dictionary. Our dictionary is where we would store the lists and each folder. Pretty much for the time being, it's empty as it can be, like that, like this. But literally in the next second, we'll start populating it. So we'll start with this loop for folder path, folder name in zip, and I'll just say print folder path. I'll put the F just so we see It's good if we can print stuff, folder name. And I need this one to close the literal, and I'll use something like this so it's different and it's visible that it's different. See, folder path this one, folder name this one. That's pretty decent. This is what we expect for this folder path here. This is our folder name, and so on. But in order to put it into the list, we'll be using other magic, and the other magic is that one. So file list, folder path, if the path exists, else just list. And based on the full name, this is the one here, we either put it like the files, we either put them as separate .csv, for example, if we are either including the extension or not, sorry. So I'll just show you here, print file list, just to see how it will look like. And yeah, this should go a bit to the left. Just let's see. Well, pretty much for this one we have a lot of file lists, so we can simply say folder name. See, this folder, for example, the first one, we have these files in a list. For this folder, these files in a list, just one, and so on. That's pretty much the idea. These ones here would be the header of our columns, and these ones here would be our rows. I'll comment this one for the time being. Okay, the next one. The next one is rather interesting. We need to realize how many files do we have in any folder, so we can pad a bit the columns. Yeah, makes sense actually. Tada. And the max length, we can check it like this. So 19. 19 is the biggest number of rows that we will be having in our Excel, together with the first one, the header, it would be, I guess, 20. Let's see. No, even more. Beautiful. I'm even seeing 23. So this is something else. We are talking about the size of the columns then. Something like length of this, yeah, 33. No, max length of files for files in file values. If let's take a look what it is giving us. Okay, file dictionary values, and somewhere our max length of files for files in, okay, if you have like this, what you can do is you can simply say for files in file values, print files, and somewhere one of these actually should be 19, or whatever I said max length was. Let's see once more, max length is 19. Print files, okay, let's see, and print length of files, and then print just nothing. Okay, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, max length is 19. That's pretty great. The reason that actually everything is 19 is because here we actually extend a bit with space times the max length minus file length. key. So everywhere we are having a file dict key with the same size, which is 19. Yeah. So now let's create a data frame from the dictionary. That sounds rather tough when I talk about it, but actually it's just a one framer, so I'm not even going to copy it. One liner, one frame, file dict, and we can take a look at it like this. Pretty much, yeah. 19, and here it's 18 because we start with the 0. The rest are not a lot. Okay. Last part of the code is to save to Excel. And how do we save it? First, we say, okay, our file would be code files in all folders .xlsx. Just declare it, and then we do the magic df to Excel. Output path index equals false. This actually helps us because if it index is true, the problem here is that I have the file opened, so I'll just do it a few more times. Yeah. Now I'll just copy some code for opening the file, or not, I have it here. You see, this is the difference between the index thing and the not index thing. This thing here, which actually doesn't look that beautiful, is the result for showing here index equals true. Should be index equals false. Yes. And pretty much that's it. The last part that I have in the code is just forcing an opening of the file that looks like this. I'm giving the output path, which is this one, and if it is Windows, then it opens it and says the file is opened, else it says it's not Windows. Yeah, then open it. Let's run this one. A file is opened, my file is here, and we don't see the ugly 1 to 21, 0 to 19 thing here that we had before, and this is because we are not having the index. Okay, so now let's go quickly. How do we make a function out of it? We name the function list files in all folders, and we have a path, then we have a full name, and then we have include roots equals false. Yeah, makes sense. And full name output false as well. And now let's start bringing the things into the function. And see how it will work. Just by clicking here and clicking on the button D, then we have some cells removed. Okay, then we continue. Whenever we copy, we should take a look and make sure that our code is actually working. Yeah, invalid syntax, include root false. Okay, we're missing this beauty here. Yeah, so then we have the max length, and then we have this one, the next one, df to Excel, and then let's return something. I mean, I would like to return the output path. Yeah. So this is not exactly like an example of great programming because we are returning output path, and in the meantime we are generating files in folders, which is, as I said, a function should be only doing one thing and one thing only. But in this case, because this is like a video, it's okay, I guess. We can deviate from the rule. So let's find a way to call our thing. It would be output path equals list files in all folders, and I'll just go with the defaults. So the path is this one, full name false, include roots false, and it didn't like something. Yes, permission denied. The reason is that I already have this one opened. Let's try once more, and let's try to open the file as well. So open file, output path, and the file is opened, and I have it here. So as you see, all the folders, all the files within the folders, these are the folders here, these are the files, are without the extensions. And if I want to change something, I can say full name true, and the extensions would be present. You see, everything is with an extension. PDF here, Jupyter Notebook, and then some other stuff like the XLSX even itself should be somewhere. Oh, it's in the root, and the root is not present. Anyway, that's pretty much what today's video was about. I hope you enjoyed it. You can get the code in GitHub. I'll share it somewhere below in the description. And that's all from me. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.